Welcome to part 3 of my Gig Performer Beginner's Guide. Now in the last video we found out how to physically connect up your VST plugins and effects with virtual cables and the blocks and stuff, and we made some keyboard patches and guitar effects and vocal effects and all those types of wonderful things. In this video though, however, I'm going to show you how to control them. Now we set up all our controls in the panels view, and you can see the panels view here. You can get to the panels view by simply clicking the panels button up in the top left hand side of the screen. And if you've got a blank kind of rack space going on, this is what you'll see, just a big grey rectangle. To set up all of our controls, we hit the edit button. The edit button is tied with the panels view. As soon as you hit the edit button, the screen will change a little bit, and you can see on the left hand side of the screen a whole bunch of virtual controls, which we will talk about very, very shortly. That's the exciting part. But on the main part of the screen, you'll see a grey rectangle, and this is where you actually put things in. But we can do some stuff to the actual panel itself. We can alter the height. We can convert it to a 1U panel to make it thinner. We can take it all the way up to our whopping 4U, which basically gives you a full screen. Really handy if you want some really large controls so that you can see them easy on stage, or put loads of controls in. We can do other things like add separate new panels, and we can also change the color of the panels. There we are. We have some presets in here, the texture of the panels, and we can even choose your own custom colors and all that kind of wonderful stuff. So very, very, very configurable. You can make this look extremely pretty if you want to. There's some other things you could do with the panel, but for the sake of quickness, that's more than enough to get us going. The meat and potatoes are in the left-hand side of the screen. These are all your virtual controls. Now, in Gig Performer, we call these widgets, and these widgets can control literally any, and I mean any, mappable parameter in your wiring view, from your instruments, effects, and even Gig Performer's own utilities, tools, and devices. Anything that's mappable, you can map a control to them. It's so very, very customizable. Now, for the sake of demonstration, and just like a cookery program, here's a Rackspace I made earlier. We're going to quickly look at the wiring view so you can see what this is. A kind of a 3-layer keyboard patch. We've got some electric piano, a lovely string sound, and a lovely piano sound. Let me stick my headphones on so I can hear what I'm playing. There we go. Here's that piano. Let's turn the volume down for that, bring up the electric piano. And we have some like ethereal type strings. Anywho, you can also see in the wiring view, in the audio path of the electric piano, I've inserted a chorus effect. And I've set up the audio routing in the mixer to route the audio from the electric piano and the standard piano through 3 and 4, which is then going into a reverb. Then all of these things are going into a limiter and out to your speakers. Let's head back to the panels view and click edit. Now we're going to start making some controls. I think ideally at first we should name the Rackspace so that we can see it clearly. Now I'm going to bring in a text label so that we can actually name this Rackspace, and all you do is drag it in. Once it's in the panel, you can drag it around to wherever you like. You can resize. Now to adjust all your widget properties, you head down to the bottom of the screen where it says widget properties. And this is where you can configure all types of aspects of your widgets or controls. For instance, in this text label, we can change that from new label to EP piano strings. There we go. And you really can't see that very well at all. So let's increase the font size to whatever you want. Now, if you have Gig Performer Pro, you can use all of your installed fonts. So I'm going to choose Impact. That's one of my favorites. Now we can change the colors of this particular widget. Let's change the fill color to black. That's kind of sexy. I like that. The outline color we will change to like a mega yellow. There we go. And text color, I think we'll keep to white because that's nice and easy to see. We can also change the thickness of that outline and even the roundness of that outline. There we go. How about that? I think we'll keep it to that. Maybe we'll take the font size up just a little bit more. There we go. Superb. Now I think, let's head back to the wiring view here. I want to actually control the volumes of each of these synths easily, like on the fly. So I'm going to add 3 sliders that will correspond to sliders on my controller. All different wonderful colors and things that you can choose, completely up to you again. I'm going to go a bit mad and choose an orange one and a purple one, and why not a white one as well. And now, same as before, you can move these to wherever you want and resize them and all that kind of stuff. So shall we start controlling stuff? Now there's 2 things to do. We have to map that widget to our control on our device. And once we've done that, we then can map that to any parameter in the wiring view. It sounds complicated, but it really isn't. Let's do it right now. So there's a slider, and I want to map that to this slider here. You can see there when I move that, it's not doing anything at all. Very, very simple. Let's head down to MIDI and click the Learn button. As soon as you click that Learn button, it turns red, and you just move whichever controller you want to get that control to move with. You know what I mean? So let's move the slider, and instantaneously Kick Performer recognizes that I want to use this slider with that widget. While we're here, why don't we do the other 2 widgets at the same time? So let's highlight the second slider and move our second slider and our third slider to our third slider. In the space of 10 seconds, we've mapped 3 widgets. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? Now that second process, like I say, is now to map that slider to whatever control it is that you want to control in the wiring view. In this particular instance, I want to control the volume, and I'm going to do it via that mixer. So down at the bottom right hand of the screen, you'll see mapping, and this is where we map your widget to your plugin control. As soon as you choose plugin down here, you'll see a list of all the plugins that are in that particular Rackspace. There you can see the electric piano there and the acoustic piano there. There's the strings, there's the chorus, the limiter, all everything that's in that Rackspace is listed. So we're going to choose to control elements of the audio mixer. So let's choose the mixer like so. As soon as you do that, all of your mappable parameters come up in a list that you can scroll down. Now, depending on your plugin, you can sometimes have literally hundreds of mappable parameters in this list. Now, if you're all super pro and efficient, like I'm not, you can just head down the list, find the one that you need, and map it straight away. However, I do it the more simple way by clicking Learn Parameter. As soon as you click that button, up will pop your mixer. Look at that. And all we need to do now to map that slider to a parameter on the mixer is move the particular control that you want to control. So in this case, I'm going to choose the piano. There we go. As soon as you move that, it's now linked. While we're here, let's do the second one, and we're going to choose the electric piano. Look at that. And while we're still here, let's do the third one, and we're going to control the strings. Super quick and easy. Very importantly, once you've finished your learning mapping process, turn off Learn Parameter. Now everything is set. If we actually now head out of the Edit button and just use our standard panels view, you can see all of our editing tools disappear, and we're now in kind of play mode. And in that short time, we can already control aspects of our Rackspace. Really cool, right? But I'm not finished there. I want to control more than volume. Let's head back now to the Edit tab, and all of our widgets and everything come back. Now I want to control that Tal Chorus plugin also. You can hear that clicking in and out, but there's no control for it yet. So let's do that right now. Head back to the Edit view, and now we're going to put in a button. Now you can choose whatever you want. I am going to choose for today, because I'm feeling like it, a blue LED button. There we go. I'm going to drag it over here, and I'm going to make it fairly big so that I can see what's going on. Now, while that button is highlighted, let's head back down to Widget Properties and click Learn and map that button to a button on your controller. So simple, right? However, with buttons, you can see when I turn it on and off, it goes on and off and it's not latching. Most of the time with buttons, you kind of want them latched, I think. So very easy. Come back down to widget properties and choose momentary to latching. Switch that toggle on, and now we have one press for on, one press for off. So simple. Now, like before, like we did with the sliders, let's go to mapping and choose that chorus plugin, Tal Chorus. Now you can see the list here of all the mappable values inside Tal Chorus. But again, I'm going to learn parameter, which brings up the actual interface of the plugin itself. And we're just going to choose the control that we want to control. In this instance, I want to choose chorus 1. And it's done. Simple as that. Untick learn parameter. And now when I press that button, you can see that Tal Chorus is going off and on. Should we try that? Right, let's head out of edit. And we've got our standard kind of view back. There's the volume of the EP. And let's hit some chorus. Oh, lovely. We can turn it off. And on. Really is a nice chorus, that, isn't it? Now I want to control some reverb in the wiring view. And that's via this gorgeous galactic reverb from Cherry Audio. I'm going to bring the piano in. Now you can hear piano and EP. And on the plugin here, you can hear the reverb. But like I say, the reverb is only affecting the audio outputs of the electric piano and the piano. The synth is coming out of 1 and 2 and bypassing that. Another top tip, time-based effects like reverb and delay, try them after your mixer, because you can turn the volume down and it won't affect the reverb tail. Yeah, pro, right? Just a tip. Anywho, let's go back to the wiring view and we're going to set up now a knob. There we go, a nice big knob.
These go to 11.
Now we have to map that knob to a controller on your control surface, hit learn again, and turn a knob. Instantaneously, Gig Performer recognizes that connection. And now let's head over to mapping once again and choose our galactic reverb from the list. Hit learn parameter one more time, and we just need to touch the control that we want to link up. Now we have reverb control for the electric piano and the piano. So we've got some basic controls. How cool and how quick was that, right? However, we're not quite finished yet. Let's head back to the Edit tab because there's more things that we can do with our widgets. Let's say, for instance, the wet and dry reverb knob here. We don't want the reverb to turn all the way fully the other way so that we get that kind of no original signal type sound. It's probably not ideal in a live situation. So we can actually adjust the values of this particular widget to whatever we want. Let's hit the value tab down here and we can scale the values. What do I mean by that? Let's hit that rectangular box there that's got the diagonal going through it. This is where you can actually set up scaled values for every single widget. So for instance, I don't want that reverb going all the way to 100%. So I'm going to turn that down so that we're only getting kind of that amount of reverb. You can see on the outside of the knob there that the scaled valued indicator is moving as I turn up and down that value there. So I'm going to take it to around about there, I think. Now, when I come out of there and start playing, the knob still reacts the same. But no matter how far I turn it, it won't go past that particular value. You can even reverse the values so that it will work the other way around. Now turning the knob clockwise actually turns off the reverb. And in the scaled value box, we can actually set up custom curves and all these types of things. So you can really fine tune your widget values to exactly however you want them. So that's a very basic overview of how to set up controls using the panels view inside Gig Performer. The wiring view and the panels view are at the heart of creating Rackspaces. So if you've got a good basic understanding of how that works, you can then start spreading your wings and flying away to Gigland. Now, fear not, good people. I'm going to continue creating Gig Performer how-to videos for the channel, but they're going to be a little bit more advanced and kind of feature specific. So things like how to create layers and splits for keyboard players. That's me. I like that. Or the global Rackspace. Bottle of whites, bottle of red. How to use favorites and GPU user presets, the streaming audio file player, all types of different things. So if you're interested in learning more about Gig Performer, consider maybe subscribing and hitting the notification bell. That means anytime I do create more Gig Performer content, you'll be the first to know. And if you haven't even bought Gig Performer yet, but you're just seeing how things work and kind of considering it, hit the links below to bag yourself a bit of a discount, remember. So thanks very much for watching the beginner's guide. If there's any type of videos that you would like me to make concerning Gig Performer, drop a comment down below on any of the Gig Performer guide videos. I'll see what I can do for you. However, until the next one, see you soon.